What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. I want to go over this a great topic that people are manifestations of their thought processes, or the people you are encountering are manifestations of your own thought process. But you have to understand that people in general who walk the face of the earth, they are just a manifestation of a thought. And that's it. And it's very interesting when you start to, if you've read the Bible and in Genesis where it talks about that God spoke over the world and, land was created, the waters were created, the animals were created, man was created. This is real. People don't understand, man. You know, when you start to understand the spiritual concepts of things, you will understand that this is actually a real thing where people are only just a manifestation of thoughts. And this is why also it's important when you're creating a child with a specific person that you're creating out of the right intentions, because you have to understand that child comes from somewhere. It's coming from a specific thought process that you have taken from your thought process and you're bringing down into matter form. So that child that is created into this world, they came from somewhere. And a lot of people, they get upset when they've seen their child. They're like, why is my child acting this way? Why is my child being this way? But you have to understand that the child comes from a certain specific thought process. And I've gotten to notice this even looking at my own parents or even my mother's belief systems, as I've gotten to observe, and I've examined her belief systems, and I've seen my siblings and even myself, and I'm like, whoa, that is crazy how we came out. Or what's really, really interesting inside of life, if you really observe it, that people are also created out of a storyline which involves the thought processes that are within your mind, or it can be your belief system within your mind, and it can create a person from that storyline out. So this world is very, very nuts, man. You can create characters from your mindset into reality based off of the stories and the belief systems that you tell yourself. I can't really tell people this, but it's something that you have to really examine and observe and experience yourself. And once you do, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But also, what also gets really wild in this world is that the people that you encounter in this world are forms of your own thought processes. I can't what's so funny is that when you become the observer of your life, right, there's people that I've encountered and I'm like, oh, this person is so annoying. But then I see what the person, when you become the observer and you become responsible of yourself, I would see something that somebody does that's annoying, and then it's so funny. It's like my higher self will come and smack me in the head, and it would send me a picture of what I did possibly in the past, and it was just the same thing as that person. And I would be like, oh my goodness, that's so crazy. So you have to understand, like, this world is a very interesting, and the mysteries of this world, in some way, it's as if we're interacting with ourselves. Each person that you're interacting with on some form is in it's a replication of your own world or your own thoughts. You know, and you can play with these thoughts as much as you want. So, like, say for instance, if you're looking for more, it's as if like say for instance, right? The way that I visualize it is that, like, if you can see the picture of a brain inside of your mind, right? And the way that I look at it is that the brain, it's like a roadmap if you look at it, which is crazy. So, like, if you go on Google, just type in a picture of a brain, and you have like the frontal lobe, you have like the occipital lobe, and then I forget the two sides, but whatever, you understand what I'm saying. You have these different parts of your lobes, and they are a map. So the way that I observe it is as if, I can walk to different locations of my brain, and the locations of my brain that I'm walking to can have different experiences, different forms of thoughts, which will manifest into my reality and manifest different people or different things. This is also a part of shadow work, right? I remember when, I knew I had to do some shadow work in my life, and it was like going to, if I'm just painting a picture for you guys, but it was like going to this darker aspect of my brain that I didn't know was there. And I'm just looking at it right from afar. Sorry, guys. Like, I'm just looking at it from afar. And has anybody ever went to the beach when it's nice? Like, you at night, you can see the ocean, but like if you look deep on the horizons, it's just pitch black. You don't know what's out there. So within shadow work, it's like that. Like, you're going to the darkest places inside of your mind, and when you walk that path of the darker places in your mind, you'll be so fascinated about what manifests out into your reality. It's some crazy stuff, but I'm going to really just leave it here, is that we are all manifestations of our thoughts. A lot of things that pop up into your reality, it may be things that you're not really examining as much, or you're not looking at as much in your own psyche. But when you do, it's like, whoa, we are all just thought forms. You are a thought. Buzz down, Tatiana, buzz down, Tatiana. You are a thought form, and that's it. But peace.